Marriages are hard work. Ask anybody who's been in one. Here to talk about some strategies for making your marriage a success are Pastor Sylvester "Sly" Wallace and his wife Laura Wallace of Riverside-based Changed Church. Folks, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us.
So it's no secret that the world has been challenging so many of us the last couple of years. What are some of the ways that it has been stressing married couples in particular?
Wow. Do you want to go?
That's huge. Our marriage ministry actually started through the pandemic. So when the pandemic started, we found and started looking at a lot of couples that were struggling, having to spend so much time together. And so we started what's called Couples in Quarantine. That was the name of the marriage ministry. And we started doing live videos, and we got so much feedback from that. And so we saw that there was a niche, there was a need in that moment for there to be a place where married couples could go to get some resources. And so that's really how it started. Yeah. We've been married for 27 years, I think now. And so we wanted to be able to use our experience to help other married couples.
It was very interesting, actually, for the duration of the pandemic. You know, I know her extremely well. You know, she's the love of my life, but during the pandemic, I looked at her, I was like, who are you? Because, just work, career, life, responsibilities, and you get accustomed to a passing relationship.
Yeah.
Good night, sweetheart. Oh, I'll see you at the dinner table.
Yep.
But when the pandemic happened, it was like I was forced to be in her presence again.
Yeah.
And literally had to relearn her in that process. And I was like, we need to have a marriage ministry, because we can only imagine those couples who don't have the tools to be around each other for the duration of time.
Yeah.
Did you find that surprised a lot of couples, that just the being together for that period was, shouldn't we automatically want that and like that?
You would think so. You would think so. But I know, like, speaking for us, especially when you've been married for quite a long time, you get used to your rhythm. You get used to your sense of schedule. You get used to just having your own individual time. And so I know for me, that's really how I recharge. And so that was something that we struggled with when we first got married, because he was just, let's together. And for me, it was more of, I need to have some alone time. I need to be by myself so that I can recharge and be a good mother, be a better wife. And so I knew that if we were experiencing that, then there had to be other couples that were going through the same process now, with the whole world being shut down, because you have a lot of couples who maybe have things that are going on in their marriage that they use their job to distract them, or and so they have that escape, or they have the children to use as an escape. And so once those things were kind of taken away, we sensed that there was a definite need for that type of counseling.
Yeah, for sure.
Did anything surprise you about the things you were hearing? Just the arguments folks were having, the things they were fighting about.
They were like, I want a divorce. I don't like him. I don't like her. Oh my God, you changed.
So they would just jump right to the worst case scenario.
We're just going to go right into it. Simply because time together exacerbates those hidden issues. Things that we can gloss over with a nice dinner. Things that we can gloss over with a trip to Big Bear. Now you can't go anywhere. Right. I'm forced in your presence. I have to deal with all those nuances and idiosyncrasies that we have with one another, that now there's no escape. Now we have to have the tools to deal with it.
Right.
And they were just having the hardest time just trying to find the tools.
And a lot of times couples wait until things are really bad before they seek help. Before they ask for counseling or seek marriage mentors. And so when you compile that on top of everything being closed, it's already bad, but I'm coping because I have all of these other distractions. And now I don't have that. So things go from bad to worse fairly quickly.
Let's talk about that. Is there this reluctance to seek help because it's an admission of failure? Some may see it as an admission of weakness, but it's not. It's putting in the work.
Exactly.
For me personally, I really believe that society has been really unfair to marriages. There are so many different measuring tools for marriage. If he smiles twice a day, he's happy. If she laughs in the morning but not in the evening, she's happy. And so all these different expectations on a marriage really made it unrealistic within the pandemic, because there are no escapes. And so for people to be able to gather themselves and to be able to coexist and still find romance. When I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I love you.
Yes.
See you in the morning.
Right.
Nothing's changing.
Yes.
And
yes.
so that...
They had to dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that pride of saying that I don't have it all together had to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Right, because there's a stigma. There's already a stigma with seeking therapy.
Yeah.
And so then when you find that you're in a church setting or a religious setting, then there's even more so, because I think a lot of couples feel like I should have this all together. I'm serving God and I should have, but that's not the case. We believe in counseling, and you can get counseling, go to church, and get counseling. And so they coexist. And so that was something, another stigma we wanted to take off of, couples seeking counseling, that it's okay to be a Christian and still get therapy. It's a great idea.
Do you find that people are oftentimes comparing themselves to the folks that they see on social media, where it's that curated Instagram perfect life, and they think, well, my life isn't like that, and therefore, I can't be open and honest about the things that's going on.
Right.
I think that goes back to that measuring stick. It's your expectation of marriage has to be contained within the parameters of your relationship.
With your spouse.
With your spouse.
That's right.
You're not married to the Instagram lady, or you're not married to the Instagram guy who comes home and has a six-pack and has fluid hair and he's some high-powered attorney. No, you're married to Bob. And
which is great.
Which Bob loves you, though,
yes.
and Bob accepts your flaws.
Right.
And it's, again, being realistic within the parameters of your relationship.
Right. I know one of the things that we used to, as we were healing our marriage, because our marriage has gone through everything a marriage could possibly go through, and we survived all of it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that helped us was, I would say something to him, he would say, something that I thought was ridiculous, and I would be like, men out there, he was like, well, you're not married to men out there. You're married to me.
Yeah.
And so your husband, this is our scenario.
Yeah.
And so you have to take the world out of this unrealistic, iconic ideal about what marriage should look like. You have to kind of take that. Thank you. You have to take that out and really be honest and genuine and sincere about what you're experiencing, what you're going through, and what you need to do to make that better.
What about in-laws? Because anytime you talk about marriage, you're talking about, joining, in effect, a completely other family with different values sometimes and different beliefs. And certainly there's a lot of things in this country that have been dividing us, whether it's politics or science or, so how do you deal with some of those divisions that spring up just from the, bringing two families together?
For me, it's, first I let it be known that when you marry someone, you're marrying the whole family.
Yes.
You're marrying the whole family.
Yeah.
Intimately, you are not just intimate with your wife. There are references from the mother and the father with your wife or with your husband. And so in-laws it's like any other relationship, there's always going to be friction.
Yeah.
You are blending two worlds. I don't care if your chemistry is so phenomenal. Oh, I look at you and you're from the East, I'm from the West. Lovey-dovey. After a while, they're going to get on your nerves.
Yeah, that's going to all go away.
Right. And so in-laws are just another dynamic part of their world.
Right.
That you have to find, again, tools and strategies to successfully incorporate them into the relationship.
Right.
Because every relationship we have ever counseled in regards to in-law situations is because there has been extreme exclusion. You have to find a way to work it in where everybody wins.
Right, exactly.
Especially you.
And that's huge. Tools, that's really, we go through an actual system when we counsel, and so we do premarital counseling as well, so we can talk about those things, and we ask the hard questions before you even get married, about in-laws and how do you get along with your in-laws, conflict resolution, communication, those type of things, and so all of that gets addressed.
Do you find you're sending them back with some homework? Because
everybody gets homework. Everybody gets homework. Everybody we counsel gets homework, and so the homework can be a recap of an actual session. I just gave one of the wives that we're counseling right now homework. This is what you're supposed to do. These are the steps that you're supposed to take. This is what I want you to do. And she did those things, and we got the results that she wanted. And so homework's huge.
Well, if I can indulge a little bit of wordplay, what do you typically see are the state of the unions in your congregation? How
That's a great question.
How are people doing out there?
I don't want to sound like a zealot, but it's really from your paradigm, it's from your perspective. You can look at this pandemic as a reboot. I have an opportunity to restart my life. I have an opportunity to dream again. I have an opportunity to hope. I have an opportunity to redefine my parameters, to redefine who I am as an individual. Those people are thriving. Those who are grieving what life used to be, those people are they're just trying. It's really your mind. You really have to be committed to a new you, a new life. And whatever life is, I can accept it, I can conquer in it, I can thrive in it, I can do all things through Christ, and let's win. Those are the people that are thriving.
And I think because we do, during your sermons, you do talk about marriage, and that is something that is up front. We've been very open about our struggles in our own marriage to our congregation, and so I believe because of that, our congregation, our partners, they know, that we are a resource, and so if there are struggles within the ministry, they know that we have an open door, they can come, and so, but the marriages are great where we are. They're thriving, and everyone's doing well.
If you could, bottle it down to one piece of advice, is it the obvious stuff like never go to bed mad? Is it?
That's hard. You're gonna go to bed mad. FYI.
Yeah, you might go to bed mad, but the point is go to bed together. Don't separate. And so whatever you're doing, do it together. You're still a team, and I think the next big one is that
don't use the D word.
Yeah, don't use the D word.
Don't cuss at me with the D word.
No divorce. We don't like using that divorce word, and that we're not enemies. That he's, you have my best interest at heart. Your spouse has your best interest at heart, and so those are pretty much our staples, and boundaries. Boundaries is huge as well. So setting boundaries in your marriage, huge.
Now,
I think,
what if you're dealing with a couple that has been together for decades, and now these issues are coming up? So, like you said, their routines are very well established. Their preferences and dislikes are, locked in.
Right.
It's establishing the new norm. I mean, when I first met her, I had a six-pack, yoked, highly athletic, and now 30 years later almost, I'm a little different. And to be gracious with the new norm. Like I said, the pandemic was not like we faced a chronological difference. Our lives are completely different. And you gotta give one another space to express new norms.
Exactly.
This is my new norms. Within my new norms, these are my boundaries.
Yes.
Within my new norms, this is my new support system.
But you're doing that together. You're agreeing on that together as a team.
That's good.
And if you can't do it together because of conflict, then that's where we come in as mentors, marriage mentors. And so we kind of help facilitate those strongholds with those couples that have been together for a long time and they're very dug into their stances. And so that's kind of how we come in and operate.
What gives you the most satisfaction about doing this work?
Ooh.
I think because I know what it feels like to not have wise counsel when you're struggling in your marriage. We had to really do it on our own. The Lord definitely helped us, but we had to figure out those steps on our own. And it makes me sad when people get divorced because they don't have to. I think they just don't have the tools. And I always say it's like when you get sent something from Amazon or wherever and a piece is missing. You can try to put it together, but it might not come out the way you want it to. And so that's what we're here to do, is to provide the tools.
Yeah. And for me, it's when it's almost like a mini sermon for me. When I'm speaking and I'm giving God's word and I look in their eyes and they go, that little hope,
just offering them hope
God,
that they can make it.
That makes me feel so good.
Yes.
When they go home like, you know what, we can do this.
We can do it.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
So what is the best way for folks to find your ministry? Where can they go to find more?
They can visit changedchurch.org.
And that, if I'm hearing that correctly, that is changed with a D on the end.
That is an acronym for Christ has anointed a new generation of excellent disciples.
Pastor, Mrs. Wallace, thank you so much for being on the program, and best wishes to you in the work that you do out in the community.
Thank you very much for having us.